Hello everybody. I'm here today in my pajamas, which is honestly not very unusual for my channel, but today I'm wearing them for a specific reason, and that's because we're gonna be having a sleepover. I've been wanting to do this video for a while because I film most of my vlogs just at home during the day, and I was like, why not do a night version where we just like hang out and have a girls' night? My hair is usually would not be this done for a sleepover, but I had an event today and now I have a free night, so I've been thinking of some fun things we could do together. I haven't had a good old-fashioned slumber party in a really long time, but I was thinking if I were to host one, what would we do? Usually when I'm by myself, I would just read at night. But if I had friends over, and in this case I do, you guys, I was like, okay, so we'd probably eat a lot of good food, maybe make some good food, sit on the couch and gossip, tell stories, giggle, talk about boys, watch a movie, gossip some more, eat some more, and just talk and hang out. So that's what we're gonna be doing today, all of the above. I am going to be baking, which is my newfound favorite hobby. I'm so excited. I found the best recipe to make like these pumpkin cheesecake cookie things. Oh my God, I'm so excited. So we're gonna bake, we're gonna talk. I'm gonna be answering a lot of questions. I screenshotted really good ones that you guys asked me on Instagram. We can talk about books and maybe we'll watch a TV show. You know what I just started rewatching? Normal People. I know. Why am I putting myself through that? I don't know, but it felt like the time of the year where it was my time for my rewatch. So maybe we could watch that together, shed a tear or two. I'm trying to think what I want to do first. I really want to bake. Maybe we'll answer start our little gossip session by like answering questions as we bake, and then like while the stuff's in the oven we could really get into like the sitting and talking. Quickly, before we start baking and getting into this video, I want to quickly talk about the sponsor of today's video, which is Spotify. I love them. You guys know I love them. Talk about them all the time. I talked about before how they have audiobooks on Spotify, but now they have audiobooks in premium on Spotify. Couldn't get any better than that because you know I'm an avid Spotify premium user. And now there's over 200,000 titles available on Spotify if you have a premium subscription to listen to. This is the best news ever. Not only is everything all in one place, but it's all included within your subscription. I want to talk about what I'm currently listening to. I just love listening to audiobooks. Like these past few months, especially now that I go on walks every single day, it has been the best thing to ever happen to me. I get so much more reading time in by listening to these books while I do things. The book I'm currently listening to is Queen Move by Kennedy Ryan. This is the third book in her Kingmaker series that I've been reading over the past few months. I've been like skipping around. I listened to the other two as audiobooks and now I'm listening to the third one. I was listening to this while I was building my dresser.
Coax the corners of my mouth up in a smile.
It's so soothing and relaxing to me, like something about it. First of all, I can vividly picture the entire book in my head so well. Like while I'm going on my walk, I'm just like in this whole different reality. Like I am in my book. Spotify users, this is everything to us. We can now listen to our books on there, included in our subscription. 200,000 books to choose from. But yeah, I love partnering with Spotify. I genuinely love them so much. I use it every single day. Thank you so much, Spotify, for sponsoring today's video. Let's go start baking. I'm very excited. Here's my little baking setup. I have everything that I'm gonna need all set out right here. Hopefully I have enough of everything. I realized that I don't have a lot of sugar left, which is kind of essential to making a dessert, but let me show you what we're gonna make. I got the recipe from the same girl from my last video where I baked the apple pie cookies, but she posted these pumpkin cheesecake swirl cookie bar things, so that's what we're gonna be making. Okay, I'll pull up my first question as we get into this. Okay, the first question I think is interesting, probably something I would talk about at a sleepover with my friends, is how do you decide what to post, not post, / share or not share on social media? Great question. I think about this all the time because I do show a pretty good chunk of my life, but I also probably only show about like 30% of my actual life. Okay, I need to like be able to multitask while I do this actually. Starting with making the crust, graham cracker crust. I need to like crush these up. I feel like how I personally decide what I want to share is anything about me, things about myself I don't mind sharing if they literally include nobody else. Like what I'm doing today, what I'm doing around my apartment, me moving to another state, me graduating college, like things that are about me that have nothing to do with my friends, family, significant others, whatever it may be. If it's just about me, then I'll share it usually, unless it's like very something personal, but usually something personal involves someone else too. Also, I'm gonna crush these with this thing real quick. BRB. Okay, I kind of crushed that up as best I can. But now I'll put the butter and the sugar in. But what was I even saying before I started going ham on the graham crackers? Basically, I think what worked best for me and like my preference is just keeping my relationships and personal, like relationships with anyone, family, friends, romantic. I don't know. I think keeping that stuff offline, I feel more comfortable with that because it makes my relationships feel more real. Not that posting on social media makes it not real, but I feel like as soon as you like, I guess pictures are different, but like with videos and stuff, like as soon as you pull a camera out, people are, you know, people then feel like they have to perform, and then it's like, is this even real? Are we just doing it for a video? Like, I also just like to be like fully in the present. Like when I'm with people, I don't want people to be like, oh, that's the girl who's always gonna pull out her camera. Like, make sure I come with a full face of makeup, or I come wearing my best outfit, and I have to be careful of what I say around her. Like, all that, like I never want people to think that of me, so I'm very particular about that stuff. The only time I'll film with my friends is if like we're doing something where I'm like, I want to include this in a video, and I usually just ask them. Like in my other vlog when I was like reacting to Taylor Swift with my friend Kylie, I text her, is it cool if I film us reacting? And she's like, sure. That's one thing, but I would never like set a camera up while we were having like a private conversation, you know? And then as far as like romantic relationships go, I feel like with social media, people get very invested in online relationships. As much as you want to know that people are rooting for you, I feel like it also just adds a lot of pressure to the relationship. And again, like, are you just doing this because you know I'm gonna post about it? Like, are you buying me flowers because you know I'm gonna post a picture of it? Or are you buying flowers because you want to buy me flowers? You know, like little things like that. And also with the people getting really invested in it, like I could not imagine breaking up with someone and like I'm grieving a relationship, and then all my comments are like, what happened to you and blah blah blah, what happened to you and blah blah blah. I feel like that even comes with like public friendships. So I just like can't take the pressure of all that, and I would just prefer to keep my peace. And like I wouldn't mind sharing a relationship at some point. Sorry, I'm talking about this because I also got a question. I don't even think I said this because I was reading it as I was making the graham cracker crust, but I also got a question that asked, if you've got a boyfriend, would you keep it a secret? And I don't think I would keep it a secret, but what's worked for me before is just not acknowledging it at all. So I guess a secret, but I don't think I'd have a problem like posting pictures. Like say I was dating them for like a long time. That was a really long answer for basically saying I share things about myself that affect no one else. I think if I ever like lived with a boyfriend, obviously you would know because you'd like be there. But like I would never do like boyfriend tag. I think it's a kind of case by case thing. Also, like if I were to date someone who also did social media or was in the public eye at all, that would be a completely different situation than if I was just dating some random guy. That's the kind of situation that I feel like that's where I would just like not talk about it. I need to put this crust in the oven. How long is that going for? Next step is pumpkin filling. Got my pumpkin puree. I need to open this can. The next question I got asked, what are they? Someone says, what helps you when you're feeling anxious? Which I feel like is a good thing to talk about after my one video I posted where I was literally anxious for like 40 minutes straight. When I'm feeling anxiety, or when anyone's feeling anxiety, it feels like it's like your entire world. Like you literally can't function and it's all you can think about and feel. I'm just gonna do this whole can. I don't want to get my measuring cups this disgusting. But I feel like in the moment, I'm always like, oh my God, I feel terrible. There's nothing I can do. But the only thing that really helps me is like talking to my friends, like not even about the situation in general, but like even as just a distraction. Like anytime I'm feeling super anxious, I usually just FaceTime my best friend, and like I instantly feel better because I'm like, if everything else came crashing down in the world and I lost everything, I know I would be totally fine because I have you. I think that also could apply to romantic relationships or like anyone. Like having someone that you know is gonna be there no matter what, nothing will fix it besides that for me, to be honest. But yeah, that's pretty much the only thing I do. If I can't talk to someone in that moment, honestly, I try to avoid the thing that's making me anxious at all costs, which I don't know if it's healthy, but usually it's social media for me, and I will just simply not go on it for like 3 days, because usually things that give me anxiety are things I have no control over, so there's no point in obsessing over it, which is easier said than done. So I just distract myself from it because there's nothing I can do to change it or fix it. And then I also sit back and think about all the things in the past that you've been anxious over, that felt like the world was ending, that you were really stressed out about, and then look at where you are now and you don't even think about that thing anymore, and it like literally doesn't matter. Time really does heal all, which is so cliche to say, but it's true. Mine is something I can kind of just like turn off my phone and leave, which not everyone has that privilege of doing with work and stuff or school. When I used to be in school, like last year, School is one of the main causes of my anxiety, so I totally feel you, and that's something you just can't avoid. And that's where I don't know how to help. I feel like, again, talking to my best friend about that situation, and I don't really know, I don't have all the answers. Talking to someone though, maybe a professional. This literally smells like baby food. The pumpkin mixture is done. Next question, as we make the cream cheese filling now, what is your favorite thing about yourself? That's like something I never really think of. I feel like no one really thinks about that. What is your favorite thing about yourself? I don't know if it's like my independence is the right word, but like I am completely self-assured. Like I feel pretty self-assured in the way that I make my own decisions. I'm not like an indecisive person. Like I make decisions for myself and I don't second guess them, and I trust myself. I don't really need validation from other people when I do things. I feel like I rarely ask for advice on things. Like the only time I like, as I was just saying, the only time I really like need help, not that there's a problem with needing help, but the only time I really need help with things is when I'm having anxiety and I talk to my best friend. I feel like I do get things done on my own is what I'm trying to say. Like you guys see with my apartment, I built everything, I get everything done, I figure out a way to do it. The crust is ready. But I feel like I don't waste time like waiting for people to help me. I just do things and I trust myself, and I don't need validation, especially from men. I feel like that's another thing I appreciate about myself is I'm good being single and good being on my own, and I don't need a man. That's probably the thing I like most about myself. Oh no, just as I suspected, I don't have enough sugar. It's not gonna be as sweet. Do you think I could use brown sugar and it would be fine? The next question is someone asked, what qualities do you prioritize in a partner? And I thought this was an interesting question because as I thought about it, I realized how much this answer has changed over the past few years. Like if you would have asked me this when I was 18, I probably would have said like, I want someone who hates everyone in the world but me. But if you were to ask me that like you are now, something I prioritize in a partner is first and foremost how they treat people, not even just me, which I think completely goes against what I just said, which was I want them to hate everyone in the world but me. Like that was my mindset a few years ago. Now I want someone who is nice and caring and treats everyone with respect. They don't have to be outgoing about it, but like is respectful and nice and uses manners, and mine is something I can kind of just like turn off my phone and leave, which not everyone has that privilege of doing with work and stuff or school. When I used to be in school, like last year, school was one of the main causes of my anxiety, so I totally feel you, and that's something you just can't avoid. And that's where I don't know how to help. I feel like, again, talking to my best friend about that situation and her talking me through, okay, this is what I'm just really lucky that I have her, because she'd be like, this is like, okay, you have all this stuff to get done. This is what's stressing you out. This is what you have to do. Like we talk through it. She's like my therapist, which is probably not good, but like, that's what friendship is. That's what we are for each other. But yeah, I feel like, again, it's just so hard. Sometimes everything is just a lot. And I don't really know, I don't have all the answers. Talking to someone though, maybe a professional. Not just like hating everyone all the time, you know? Like that can get so draining. Yeah, I also really look at how men speak and treat women in particular, not just me or women they're attracted to, but women in general. I feel like that is something I really, really look at in the beginning. The next thing would probably be like emotional intelligence. I think that goes hand in hand with like how you care about people, but also just being in tune with their emotions, can talk about things. Like you can't really date someone that you can't have an emotional conversation with and that just doesn't show their emotions and just acts like a cool guy all the time or funny guy all the time. And I also want them to be aware of other people's emotions, like mine, which is obviously important when you're dating someone. Like if you're just with someone who's kind of just nonchalant and doesn't really take into account or notice your feelings, like you're never gonna be happy. Then the third and final thing I'll say, honestly, you guys know my standards. I could go on and on, but I feel like all three of these go really hand in hand, but they're so important to me, is they do little things to show they care about you instead of just saying they care about you. I feel like I've experienced so many times, I think with like literally every guy I've ever been romantically involved with, it's always talk, 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 no actions. And I'm like, okay, you say you like me, but do you? You don't show it. You don't do anything. You don't go out of your way to make me feel like I care about you. This is something that's really important to me. I think my love language, one of my love languages at least, is acts of service. And I never used to say that because I never knew what it truly meant. I thought it meant like doing favors for someone. But acts of service to me is like you know that tomorrow I'm gonna have a really busy day, so you wake up early and make my breakfast, or even just like turn the coffee machine on for me so it's warmed up, like something like that where I can just tell you noticed I'm having a hard time and you care enough to help me, rather than just being like, good luck, like I know you're having a hard time, I really care about you and I hope you do great. Like, hi, it's me editing this, and I wanted to say another example of this that's not just like a favor that someone does for you, but it's like if you mention something briefly in passing, say you were like, oh, I used to have this purple striped sweater that I really loved when I was a kid. You like briefly mention that, and then all of a sudden they give you a purple striped sweater and they're like, I remembered that one time you brought up how it used to be your favorite, so I went and found one. Just like little things that show that they were listening to you and thought about you enough to do something that made you feel cared for. Showing it rather than telling it is so important to me, and I learned that through reading books, because the men in books always do acts of service, and every time I read it, I'm like, wow, no one has ever done that for me. So yeah, those are probably my 3 main things, which all go hand in hand, is I kind of just want someone who's thoughtful. So yeah, I wanted to answer that because I think it's funny how much my answer has changed over the years. Okay, now all 3 separate parts of this recipe are complete. I think now we just need to like combine them. I'm gonna have so many dirty dishes after this. But I would really appreciate if you guys would also answer these questions in the comments, and I'm genuinely gonna go through and read all of them. I wanna see you guys like answer these questions, and I wanna read them. So then I feel like we actually did have a sleepover and actually got to talk about it. Okay, the next question someone asked is, do you ever notice yourself comparing yourself to others? And of course I do. I feel like everyone does this, especially now. Like, we hear about it all the time with social media. Like, being able to see this many different people's lives all the time is like not what our brains are meant for. And especially on social media, when everyone's romanticizing everything, then people are comparing, being like, well, why don't all my days look like her days? I feel like I'm not as big of a comparison in that aspect, because I know that, like, being someone who posts on social media myself, like, I'm aware of how people curate things to look a certain way. But something that I catch myself doing all the time is I compare my achievements and success to other people, which I find very strange about myself, because I'm not someone who cares about numbers or money or any of that stuff. Like, I know I don't care about that, but sometimes I can't help to like look at someone on social media and be like, well, why did they achieve this? Or how did they achieve this? Or how they work with this company and how they do this. Like, I've always wanted to do that. And I start comparing like not my content, but like, I don't know, my success to theirs. Or I'm like, oh my God, they gained 100,000 subscribers in 2 weeks. Like, I've never done something like that, whatever. Which then I'd step back and I'm like, do you even care? No. I think that's like a natural competitiveness that I have, that I hate about myself. And I get frustrated a lot with social media because that stuff like happens all the time, where like you see people achieve things, and like, I am happy for them. I mean, it's not even people I know, but I'm like, wow, good for you. But like, I'm also like, I wish I had that. And I wish I could stop doing that. Like, that's probably my thing I hate most about myself. Is I do that, and then I get mad because I'm like, you literally don't care. But like, why do you care? Like, on social media, it can be such a competitive space, and I never feed into that. Like, I don't care. I feel like I'm in my own little world. But sometimes I get frustrated because I'm like, oh my God, I made that video and I got this many views, and they made the exact same video as me and they got this many. Hate that about myself, but that's what I do in regards to comparison. As everyone always says, comparison is the thief of joy, and it is very true, it is. I just put that in the oven. It's gonna be in there for 35 to 45 minutes. And then I just read the instructions and it says let them fully cool in the refrigerator for 8 hours, which we're obviously not gonna do because I'm gonna eat them tonight. I think we should take a break from the questions and talk about the book I'm reading. Let's have a little book talk on the couch. The book I'm currently reading, The Graham Effect, the new like off-campus book. I mean, I keep saying that, but it's not the off-campus. It's a spin-off to the off-campus books, and it's about the off-campus kids. And I'm eating it up. I started it 2 days ago. I'm almost done. I had low expectations, I'm gonna be honest, going into this, because I did not like The Legacy, which was the last off-campus book. But this one has completely restored my faith in this series and universe. Something about the way that Elle Kennedy writes her hockey romances, they're so fun, so hot, so good. Like, easy reads, but I get so invested. And this is about Garrett and Hannah's daughter, which is a couple from the first off-campus book. And this is like 20 years later. She is also a hockey player, which I think is so badass. I feel like I rarely read sports romances where the girl is the athlete. She's a hockey player, and then the guy is also a hockey player. She's on the girls team, he's on the boys team, obviously. And she's obviously Garrett Graham's daughter, hockey legend. So everyone knows her. She's also incredible at hockey. in her own right. And she goes to Bohrer University, which is so nostalgic. Just all the nostalgia of this book. Every single time one of the OG boys or girls is mentioned, especially the boys, I start giggling, kicking my feet. Like, I get so excited. I can't even picture them being like these 40-year-old men though. But the plot so far, basically, I mean, I'm like 75% in. Basically, Bohrer University and their rival school, Eastwood, had to combine because Eastwood closed down. So now all the sports programs are merging. Gigi, the girl, is on the girls hockey team, but she's trying to make the USA Nationals Olympic hockey team. It comes to be that Ryder and Gigi strike up this deal where Gigi will put in a good word with her dad, like talk highly of Ryder so that Garrett Graham, the icon, likes him. And there's kind of like connections through that he needs to get up in the hockey world. And then Ryder is helping Gigi practice like a few of her weaknesses in hockey so that she can make the USA Nationals team. It's so fun watching them play hockey together. I feel like that's such an interesting dynamic in a romance book, and I'm absolutely eating it up. I think it's so good. I usually don't like in books when there's a physical, sexual attraction and interaction before emotional, but that's how all of Elle Kennedy's books are. I feel like they always like hook up before they're in love, and that's how this kind of is like they're hooking up, they're attracted to each other, but it's completely no strings attached besides this like little deal they have on the side. Honestly, it's giving the deal mixed with the score. They're having this secret relationship, and I just know so much drama is about to come out because she used to date the other co-captain of the hockey team that is co-captains with Ryder. So I just know that when this is all gonna come out, there's gonna be so much drama. I can't wait for them to start falling in love with each other and like admit their feelings, and I just love a good hockey romance. So that's what I'm currently reading. What are you guys currently reading? Yeah, that's the current update. I'm so excited right now. So I just went and like did my whole nighttime routine, washed my face, got all ready to go to bed. We're gonna get to try our cheesecake cookie thing. I cut myself a big slice. I'm very excited. Are we ready to try this? I feel like this is about to be so good. It's not chilled, obviously. I mean, I put it in the fridge for like a half hour, but you know what? It's fine. Oh my God. Wait. Okay, that's the best thing I've ever made. I know I said that about the apple things, but this is better. I'm speechless. I wish you guys were actually here at the sleepover so you could eat this, because this is insane. Should we watch a movie right now? Should we watch Normal People right now? Should I answer more questions? I'm not even kidding when I say that would potentially be my death row meal, at least part of it. I feel like I can answer some more questions. I'm gonna try to find some like girl talk questions, like about boys or something. I feel like I've already talked a lot about boys actually, but I feel like that's like a big part of sleepovers. Let me go through the questions real quick. Someone asked, how do you know if you really like someone or if you just like the idea of them liking you? Girl, I wish I knew this. I think this is something I really struggle with, genuinely. This is gonna sound like really bad. In my past, I don't know if I've ever actually liked any of the guys I thought I liked, or if I just wanted them to like me, and it was more of the working to get them to like me or the satisfaction of them liking me. But I don't think there was anything about them specifically that I liked. Does that make sense? Like, there was nothing about their personality or about them as a person that I was like, oh my God, I just like this so much. I like this so much about them. Like, I wish I could be with them. They're my soulmate. They're perfect for me. They do this and I just love it about them. Every guy I've ever liked, it's more like I like that they like me. Like, in hindsight, it is that. So I wish I knew. I think you asking how do you know if you really like someone or do you just like the idea of them liking you? I think in the moment you get caught up in it, like the back and forth, the talking stage, whatever. But I feel like if you genuinely liked them as a person, you would know, because you'd be able to point out the things that you like. If you sit there and you think about the guy that you like and you can't name 5 things that you very much admire about him and traits that you really like and qualities he possesses that you always look for in a guy, if you can't actually name those things, then you don't actually like him. It's just like, what about him is so special? Or is it you that's making him special? Is it you that is like putting this idea on him? Because again, I say this all the time to my friends, a crush is just a lack of information. The more you learn about someone, you either fall in love with them or you realize you don't like them at all. It like goes one of 2 ways. And the crush stage, when you just like don't really know them, is where it gets dangerous, because you start fantasizing and romanticizing and like creating a whole personality and persona that they don't actually have. So I feel like you need to sit with yourself and be like, what have they actually done and shown me that they are like, that I actually like? This isn't like boy related actually, but someone says, do you ever plan on moving again? 100% yes. I think at this point I'm at right now, I really like Charleston. I really like where I live, but my plan has always been to explore and experiment while I can. Right now at this time, I do social media as my job, so I have flexibility where I can move and try different things and find places, new places, explore, live in different cities so I can learn what I like and what I don't like. I'm so grateful that I can do that because I'm someone who has no idea where they want to live in the future, where they want to settle down. Like, I have no idea. I don't even know the kind of vibe I want to live. I don't know if I want to live in the countryside, the mountains, the beach, the city. I don't know. So I really think I need to take this time to figure that out. Not that I have to figure my whole life out, but like, I want to try new things while I can. My plan has always been to have one lease here and see how it goes. And my lease is for a year, so, and then see where life takes me next. I could end up staying if things fall into place that way, if there's things that just make me want to stay. But I do really want to find my home and a forever place to stay. But because I don't know what I want, I feel like I need to try new things and I need to do it while I can. So yes, I do plan on moving again. When, I'm not really sure. Probably after this lease, but maybe not. I might end up staying. I don't really know. You never know with me. But honestly, now that I'm thinking about that, I'm like, that is so difficult because I kind of just wish I knew where I wanted to stay put, because it's so hard when you like move somewhere, you build friendships and support systems, and then you have to leave and start over. And like, that is so difficult and sad, like not ideal, but I just don't know where I want to live. Like, I really don't know where I want to end up. And I feel like this is like my trial period. I think I'm gonna stop answering questions for now. And I really want to watch Normal People. It's literally my comfort show. Even though it makes me want to scream and cry and throw up and rip my hair out, curl up in a ball and die, it's so comforting. If you guys haven't read Normal People, you need to at least watch the show. Trust me on this, just watch the show. It's so quick, it's like 6 episodes or something. And if you love romance, just watch it. It's worth it. It's just so gut-wrenching. The people that appreciate Normal People are the ones that can relate to it. All the haters have never experienced a Marianne and Connell situation or see themselves in Marianne or Connell. And honestly, for that, you're lucky. You're lucky that you hate Normal People, because I wish I could hate it. I feel it in my soul. I relate to it a little too much. I've been there, and the haters will never understand. And I honestly feel sorry for them. I feel sorry that they can't connect with it. Like, it makes me sad for them. Every time I post about Normal People, there are always haters, and it makes me sad for them. Like, I genuinely feel deep sadness that they can't enjoy it the way I do. But I also feel glad for them that they don't understand the pain that you need to understand in order to appreciate it. Anyways, I'm still on episode 1.
It's just out.
I hate Marianne's brother. What a loser. I could not imagine my older brother treating me like this. I love Daisy Edgar Jones. And you know who I really love? Paul Mescal. I can't believe he signed my book. This man.
Just give me his attention and move on.
Okay, I just finished episode 1 and I can't do this to myself right now. I need to go to bed. I'll end up watching the whole season in one night. It's almost midnight. Literally, where did the time go? But I'm gonna bring my book and we're gonna read in bed a little bit and then go to sleep. It is not okay the way that this book has me giggling, squealing, and kicking my feet in the air. Like, there's no way that words on paper should be making me feel this way. Okay, I think I'm gonna go to bed now. This was a fun sleepover. I'll tuck you guys in. You can sleep right here next to me. Sleepover! This was really fun. I think I'll probably end up doing a lot more videos like this. I actually really enjoyed it. Sorry my fan is so loud. If you want to follow me on my other social medias, they're all linked down below as always. Thank you, Spotify, for sponsoring today's video, and I'll see you in my next one very, very soon. Bye!